want to rock.
The more I exercise, the more annoyed I become with my doctor. I've specifically asked, what helps with this particular condition? Nothing. Yeah, there's really nothing you can do about it. What about diet? No, there's no studies proving that diet would help you in any way. What about vitamin D? Well, yeah, maybe, but no. No, but yeah, but. And there's really nothing concrete. And there's studies that contradict. What about exercise? Well, maybe yes, there's studies that say, but you know, you just better take these medications that these are what the science nowadays says that it's good for you to be on these. And I mean, honestly, I think it's criminal what they do, and they should be, each and every single one of them, starting from the medical companies, they should be persecuted for crimes against humanity. It is wrong what they're doing. Don't they take some kind of an oath that we'll try and make people better and we will do no harm and whatever? They're vicious. They'll get you sick. They would have you lie in bed and just pop pills or put needles in yourself to make you feel better. All the long-term studies on all of the current MS drugs, no long-term effect. The disease progression is the same, whether you take them or not. And then there's a debate about now how they measure it. It's like, what would be a good example? I'm programming, and now, yeah, that's maybe a good example. Previously, programmers were measured by line of code that they produced. That was a standard. So the more shit you wrote and more stupid code you wrote, the better money you got. Your review came up with, ooh, you've done a lot of stuff. And now the MS drugs, they're measured what amount of relapses does a person have. Then that determines is the drug effective or not. It's just the same as this line of code thing. They do not correlate in any way. So the disease goes in its own way, but then there's relapse and stuff like that. They're measuring the wrong thing on the drugs, I mean. You need to measure, what is the long-term progression? How fast do I get disability when it's the first onset of MS? And how long does it take for me to get disability? So, why am I irate is I went on a exercise today, and this is on my previous settings, so it was actually, I'm never been an athlete, but I've been able to do stuff. So my one cycle run, 224%, for a patient that has just been diagnosed with primary progressive MS and told that you have a future of a cane and a wheelchair. Don't think so. So what the doctor should say, there are studies that indicate that changing your diet, doing vigorous exercise, they have an effect on you. Instead they say, well, here's these pills, maybe they'll make you better. But yeah, another thing on this, I'm happy to report that a disease-ridden body reacts to training as a non-diseased one. So I can clearly, what do you call it? I can clearly see improvement. For example, the run today, it was longer than I've ever done after my diagnosis. It was, I can't remember, 1.5 hours, and it was, let's look at the details. So it was 1.5 hours, 1:34 actually. It was 32 kilometers. So my average speed, it's clearly over 20 kilometers an hour. I mean, every single run that I do. And this one, I run into a fairly big renovation that they were doing around Kehä Ykkönen, which was just gravel and stuff like that. And then I ended up in this road bike. It really doesn't like gravel. So, yeah. About the details. So it says that don't do anything in 2 days, 11 hours. Average heart rate is 151 and maximum is 179. And 1,000 calories. Maximum speed 41.8 and average is 20.3. I have actually gotten up to 25. That's my maximum that I'm now in these past. So I better stop now and go to the shower. But I was cycling, I was doing this, and I could kind of feel that I was able to push myself more than I previously have, and I felt that I wasn't useless. It restored my dignity, and I think everybody who has stuff like that is key. That they're not a hopeless case. Faith, hope, and love. The only one that lasts is love, but faith, hope are important now. Can't remember the Bible passage off the top of my head, but it's in there. So, as always, when holiday arrives, my darling wife has projects for me, and we moved into this house, I think it was 6 years ago. Let's go this way, it's better lighting. And the person who sold us this flat, she kind of cheated us by stating that the windows are paid for, the coming renovation, it's been paid for, the ducts that take the water away around the building, they've been paid for, that we just need to reap the benefits, and that will be it. Come time for these renovations, we had to fork out tens of thousands of euros for these renovations that were supposedly paid for. Well, that has caused us to postpone our renovations in the house, and this is what our floor looks like. So it's this kind of reddish unpleasantness that is the prevalent color of floors in our house. There's still I think 3 rooms left, and this is the worst type of activity that I can do, is static exercise, where I am kind of exercising myself, or doing physical labor that doesn't actually involve pushing myself to the limits. But when I'm now going to paint the floor because my wife wants me to, but that for me is by far the worst. So what's the project this time? So the original colour is that, and the coming colour is, or what is going to be painted is this bit here. We're going to most likely create a checkered pattern on it. Now it's going to be white, and then when it's ready, then we'll create a checkered pattern on it. And these stairs that are oak, they're also going to be painted into whichever colour there's going to be two colours, white and then this kind of greyish checkered thing. So I'll do this now and then I'll report my feelings. I have a very strong suspicion that I will feel absolutely horrible after this. But what will a man do for his wife? So, it took me about only maybe 45 minutes. This is the resulting floor. It needs 2 coats, but you know, it looks halfway decent, especially if we're gonna create a checkered pattern on it. Then it should look alright. But man, am I exhausted? It is not a good feeling. I'm glad that I switched professions when I was in my 20s, from a carpenter to a IT worker, because I couldn't do my old job now. I'm so rubbish condition. But hopefully the wife will be satisfied. Once you get the fatigue, as I did doing the painting today, or at least I don't recover from the state. Now I did 2 cycle runs. So first I cycled from here to the new Leppävaara swim stadium, and then I cycled back slightly longer route. And I was kind of pressing I was doing my thing on the bike, but I feel horrible. So my current thinking is that exercise has a preemptive way of working. But then when you let the fatigue come on, then the only cure is just to rest and take it easy, because now I'm feeling horrible. One reason that might be the case is that I only ate my green smoothies yesterday, and I haven't eaten anything today. I just drank some of the smoothies. Obviously I had the the supplements in the morning, but don't know how much energy those contain. But for future reference, exercise first and then manual labor, because the feeling is quite unpleasant now. But anyway, regardless of my feeling, Jesus is king.